Have you always been keen on knowing what scientists are doing, having craze about rockets and space? If yes, then hang on to this video. Space Exploration Technologies Corporation is an aerospace manufacturer in America. It was founded by Elon Musk by setting a target of decreasing the space transportation expenses for enabling the colonization of Mars. The Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles are manufactured by SpaceX. They also build several engines for rockets, Dragon cargo, Starlink communication satellites, and spacecraft for the crew. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to tell you all about the 20 out of many successful projects of SpaceX. There have been some tremendous highs and lows for SpaceX. Founded in 2002, the company's grown to become a major player in rocket missions. Here's a rundown of some of SpaceX's most significant rocket launches, landings, tests, and payloads thus far. So now, let us begin. Number 20, the very first successful flight of Falcon 1. For SpaceX, things don't get off to a good start. The Falcon 1 rocket's initial launch lasted only for a minute. Similarly, the second and third attempts were also unsuccessful. The Falcon 1 did achieve orbit on its fourth launch in September 2008, making it the first privately manufactured liquid fuel rocket to enter the orbit of Earth. Isn't that a moment of being proud? The vehicle was launched 5 times in all. Number 19, the Dragon supercraft returning to planet Earth. The Dragon supercraft, developed by SpaceX, is a capsule made to transport astronauts and supplies to the International Space Station. The Dragon was sent into space in the year 2010 aboard the Falcon 9 rocket, the successor to the Falcon 1. When SpaceX's unmanned Dragon landed back on Earth in December in the year 2010, it settled some 100 miles off Mexico's coast in the Pacific Ocean. For the first time, a private spacecraft had returned from orbit successfully. They must have celebrated at that time. What do you think? Number 18, the Dragon docks at the International Space Station. SpaceX made history by becoming the first commercial enterprise to dock with the ISS in yet another spectacular achievement. On the 25th of May in the year 2012, SpaceX sent the Dragon to the International Space Station. The Dragon spacecraft was towed into a docking slot at the space station by astronauts aboard the station using a robotic arm. Since then, SpaceX has launched Dragon to the International Space Station on many resupply flights for NASA. Number 17, SpaceX creates history by landing the first rocket booster. One of the key reasons Elon Musk established SpaceX was to develop the technology to land and reuse spacecraft. Isn't that a great cause? The capacity to reuse substantial components of a spaceship that would otherwise disintegrate in orbit was one of the most important advancements required. The landing of an orbital first stage rocket was the first step in making this achievable. With its first historic unmanned upright landing with a Falcon 9 rocket booster in the year 2015, SpaceX accomplished this accomplishment. Number 16, the arrival of the first drone ship. SpaceX was beginning to make things appear simple. The corporation landed its spacecraft on an inferior stage floating in the water less than a year after its first successful vertical touchdown. In 2016, the business made its first successful landing of a rocket booster on a drone ship named Just Read the Instructions after numerous failed attempts. Though some have speculated that SpaceX lands most of its flights in the ocean to save money, Elon Musk stated in a series of tweets in the year 2016 that it's everything about speed. Number 15, SpaceX became the first firm to reuse a rocket. When it comes to reusing and lowering the cost into space, rocket landing is only one half of the equation. Earlier, NASA has repurposed space shuttles, but not rocket boosters. On the 30th of March in the year 2017, SpaceX successfully launched its Falcon 9 rocket again, which was carrying a satellite, and recovered it by making it land upon a drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Sounds perfect, right? Number 14, the Dragon can also be utilized again. SpaceX explained that it could reuse its Dragon capsule after establishing that it was possible to reuse its rockets. On the 3rd of June in the year 2017, the corporation launched the Falcon 9 rocket carrying a Dragon capsule that has previously been used. The Dragon capsule that was used for a second time had previously been utilized on the 4th trip to the International Space Station. The fact that the construction that will allow humans to research in space can be reused is seen as a significant step towards making a trip to Mars viable. Number 13. The Falcon Heavy lifts off, launching a Tesla into orbit. The Falcon Heavy made its debut in 2018. It was the most powerful rocket ever launched from the United States, with 27 engines. The Falcon Heavy demo flight was the first time a pair of recycled boosters assisted in the launch of a large payload into orbit. The same two Falcon Heavy side boosters came back and landed at adjacent landing grounds at Cape Canaveral only 8 minutes after launch. And if you don't find even this enough, then to add on the fact, this launch also marked the birth of a star, SpaceX and Tesla's Starman. Number 12. The history's first privately sponsored lunar expedition. SpaceX enjoyed the celebration of the successful recovery of its rocket booster in February 2019. The Falcon 9 had also incorporated a Bereshit, a privately funded Israeli moon lander that was an example of artificial intelligence as a secondary payload as part of the Nissantra Satu mission, which made this mission historic. Number 11. Commercial flights of the Falcon Heavy launch creates new records. In the Arabsat 6A satellite's launch, SpaceX broke its own record for distance being covered in the time of booster recovery with a maneuver that saw it enter the Earth's atmosphere again and travel roughly 770 miles. SpaceX truly believes the phrase, "be your own competition." Number 10. The first unearthed flight of the Starhopper. The Starhopper is the Mk1 prototype of SpaceX's Starship rocket, which Elon thinks will one day transport humans to Mars. SpaceX has sent the Starship in the air without reaching orbit to test the enormous power of its Raptor engines in flight. Starhopper's first successful jump propelled it 65 feet in the air before landing. "Water towers can fly," as Musk tweeted. Number 9. The first astronaut launch by SpaceX. All systems were prepared for the first ever astronaut launch of SpaceX after a successful test. The historic journey went off smoothly, launching on the 30th of May in 2020 and docking at the ISS the following day. On May 31, the astronauts had been on the International Space Station for 2 months. Number 8. The prototype of the SN5 Starship soars. On the 5th of August 2020, some tests, including a few failed ones, resulted in the construction and testing of a full Starship prototype, SN5. The hop of SpaceX's SN5 Starship prototype is its Boca Chica development facility reached nearly 500 feet. "Mars is looking real," Elon tweeted after the successful test. Number 7. This is SpaceX's 100th launch and the 6th time the Falcon 9 rocket has been reused. With a single launch on the 18th of August 2020, SpaceX achieved 2 outstanding milestones. 11th Starlink satellite takeoff also marked the company's 100th launch. Furthermore, this was SpaceX's 6th flight to reuse the Falcon 9 booster B1049. That's a new high for SpaceX, or any company for that matter, in terms of the number of times a commercial rocket has been reused. This is a true tribute to SpaceX's commitment to reuse rockets. Number 6. The first completely functioning mission of Crew Dragon. Crew 1, the first fully operational trip of the Crew Dragon, which can carry up to 7 astronauts, sent 4 individuals to the International Space Station on 15th of November 2020. This was the first commercial human spaceflight system to be certified by NASA. Isn't that awesome? Number 5. Astronauts from Crew 2 on their way to the International Space Station. A Falcon 9 rocket launched a Crew Dragon spacecraft carrying NASA's SpaceX Crew 2 passengers on 23rd of April 2021. This was the second commercial crew rotation project aboard the International Space Station. NASA astronauts made up the team. They stayed on the ISS for a total of 6 months. Number 4. SN15. Starship serial number 15 completed the 5th high-altitude flight test of a Starship prototype from Starbase in Texas on Wednesday, 5th of May 2021. 3 Raptor engines propelled SN15. The propellant shift was completed by SN15 to the internal header tanks. Number 3. Inspiration 4. SpaceX launched a human spaceflight mission, Inspiration 4, on behalf of Jared Isaacman. The mission launched the Crew Dragon Resilience on top of a Falcon 9 launch vehicle on the 16th of September 2021 and kept the Dragon spacecraft into low Earth orbit and splashed down in the Atlantic Ocean successfully on September 18, 2021. Isn't that amazing? Number 2. Crew 3. Crew Dragon spacecraft's third operational flight is SpaceX Crew 3. On November 11, 2021, the mission to the ISS was successfully launched. Number 1. Mission IXPE. The IXPE mission stands for Imaging X-ray Parametry Explorer. NASA's IXPE was launched into low Earth orbit by Falcon 9 on Thursday, 9th of December 2021 from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida's historic LC-39A. We hope that you found this video interesting. Stay tuned for more. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Thank you and see you soon.